Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call the order of the Sparks City Council meeting of 11/25/2019 with a roll call, please.
Mayor Smith.
Here.
Council members Abbott.
Here.
Lawson. Here. Anderson.
Here.
Bybee.
Here.
Dare.
Here.
City Attorney Adams. Here. City Manager Croots.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you'll all stand for invocation, speaker today is Pastor Barb West, Sparks Church of the Nazarene. Hi, Barb. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Look at this great team. We're proud of you. Would you join with me in prayer, please? Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we do come to you with thanksgiving today. There's so many things to be thankful for. And one of the things we're thankful for is Mayor Ron Smith and this fine council. And Lord, we pray for health for Ron. And we pray that you would look down with favor upon all of the members of our city council, that they might have the wisdom to continue to lead us forward. Lord, we thank you that we can come to you in prayer over all of these good people that we've put in leadership for our city. Bless our city and protect our schools, our students, the administrative people, and all of the teachers. And Lord, we ask your protection too over our police chief and all of his personnel that put their lives on the line for us. Pray for all of the firefighters and our fire chief as well, that you would protect them. And Lord, once again, we ask you to keep your hand upon our EMT people who are out there helping day after day after day. Thank you, Lord, once again for looking after us and for helping us and for this great team that we call our railroaders. We pray a blessing upon them and all of the youth and children of our city as well. Thank you, Jesus, and we do pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. If you remain standing, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Dare?
Yes, would you please join me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There he is. Okay, 5.1, approval of the agenda.
Public comment?
Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. I'll open up the public comment. I had an X across that already. So, open up the public comment period. Anybody wishing to speak, please fill out one of these cards. The first speaker, Darla Lee. Come on down, Darla. Welcome.
Darla Lee for the record. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On November 21st, this past Friday, I understand there was a big groundbreaking ceremony for the new Hug High. And I understand that Governor Sisolak was there, as well as many other officials, and no doubt some of you were in attendance also, I assume. I looked at the website for the school district, and it said it didn't have any report so far, but I talked with Charles, and he said that would be coming online. So will be interested to see all the pictures from the groundbreaking, because needless to say, I wasn't there, and I am pretty sure most of the community that on the website it said that the community will gather to break ground on the newest high school. So as I said, I wasn't there, but I am connected, I guess, because I have heard the groundbreaking, the backup beeping of the bulldozers across the street from my residence for several weeks now. In any case, I am here today to remind the council once again that the lower portion of Wild Creek Golf Course, we residents were assured would remain a golf course. But so far, I have seen nothing on the agenda for rezoning to make that happen. So if it's not on the agenda, I guess you folks can't vote on it either, correct? So what I'm here to ask you is to put this on the agenda. Initially, we were told that it would take at least 3 months or more to get this issue on the agenda, the research, whatever. And I think we are long past that time frame. I realize that we're heading into the holidays now, and it's busy for everyone. But the preserving of the open space for our neighborhood is important. It's important to residents and to the golfers. I bring this to your attention because we are now frankly hearing rumors about that the county might close the golf course because that's such an ideal place to have new public buildings. Or with all of the housing problems we're having, perhaps we should just build apartments there because it's so great to have the infilling of our neighborhoods. So I appeal to you once again to do the right thing and follow through with the rezoning of the Wild Creek Golf Course. I look forward to seeing this on the council's agenda and hopefully confirming by a confirming vote before the end of the year. I assure you that this would be a very welcome holiday gift and a much thanksgiving to all of us for this to happen in a timely fashion. Thank you.
Thank you, Darla. Okay, next speaker, Christy with Truckee Meadows Beautiful. Welcome, Christy.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Christy Chacarolo. I'm the Executive Director of Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful, and I am here to promote the Christmas tree recycling program. I know it's not yet Thanksgiving, but we know we're all going to be getting trees, or some of us are, and so we want to promote the Christmas tree recycling program that you, the City of Sparks, helps host at the Shadow Mountain Sports Complex. Very huge thanks to the Sparks Parks and Rec Department, who has helped make this happen every year for the last 20 years. The program will start December 26th. It will run through Monday, January 7th. People can bring their clean trees, fresh cut trees, not the flock trees, not the fake trees. That all has to go in the garbage can. But any fresh cut trees without the stand on, without the lights on, please take off your ornaments. You'd be surprised what people still bring us. We can mulch that, and that will be used for weed abatement material throughout the community. We also provide the mulch for free to residents. At the end of the program, they can call us at Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful, and we'll tell them how to get that. And so just want to shout out again, a thanks to the City of Sparks for helping to support this program, and also NV Energy, Washoe County Health District, and the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, who also has a tree collection site out in Spanish Springs for Sparks residents. Thank you.
Are you going to leave us those posters?
I will leave these outside.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Anybody else in the audience wishing to speak at this time? Bill, come on down. You snuck in. Yep. Welcome, Bill.
Welcome to you. Okay. Let me just put my glasses on. Won't take more than a half an hour. Mr. Mayor, council members. For the record, my name is Bill Wagner. I currently live in the Vistas. And a lot of people have been asking me, does anyone know when the construction will start at the top of the hill on North Los Altos Parkway? Nobody knows, huh?
We'll put somebody in contact with you, Bill.
Great.
That's all you need?
That's it, quick,
Okay.
quick and dirty.
Mr. Manager, would you have, let me get a hold of Bill.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Longer put his glasses on.
I know. Okay, anybody else in the audience wish to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council and move to 5.1, approval of the agenda. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve the agenda with a couple exceptions. If we could please pull consent item 8.3 and then move item 9.1 up to the top above the consent items, please.
Okay, we have a motion looking for a second. Mr. Abbott?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, we'll move on to 6.1, consideration of possible approval of the minutes of the Sparks City Council meeting for November 12th, 2019. Looking for a motion, Ms. Bybee.
I move to approve the minutes of the Sparks City Council meeting for November 12th, 2019 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion looking for a second. Mr. Dare?
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, we'll move on to announcements, presentations, and recognition items. We got a bunch of people in the audience here, so they must be on the agenda. Commendation Sparks High School varsity soccer team. How many are there? I guess I could count, but it's Mr. Abbott. We have a proclamation.
We sure do. So I would ask for all of you, as I would normally ask for everyone to come down, but I think there's a little bit too many. So I'll read this, and then we'll go from there. So we'll start off with, whereas the Sparks High School boys varsity soccer team, led by Coach Jose Chava Espana, are your 2019 Northern Nevada Regional Champions. They battled all year and completed possibly a first for Sparks High School by having an undefeated regular season. And whereas this year's team is unique because the entire coaching staff is made up of past Sparks High School Railroader alumni. This is setting a tone for the team that hasn't been set before, which drives home the message of once a Railroader, always a Railroader. Whereas this is the 11th straight year where the team has qualified for state, this year they have scored 111 goals with only 14 goals against them. This group of seniors has been a part of 3 out of 4 zone championships. And whereas Coach Chava has been named the Coach of the Year for the 3A League, and 10 of his 25 players were selected under the All-League and All-State categories. And now, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Ronald E. Smith, Mayor of the City of Sparks, do hereby join the City Council in commending the Sparks High School boys varsity soccer team for their achievement of winning the Northern Nevada Regional Championship this year. And so, congratulations. And if I can have you guys down, well, first off, for our picture, if you could all just come down and introduce yourselves, your name and your position would be great. Is that okay with you, Chava? Yeah. Start off with you, Coach.
My name is Jose Espana, a.k.a. Coach Chava. I've been coaching since 2011, and I've been blessed enough to be a head coach of this program for the last 4 years. So I'll let the guys introduce themselves. So.
I'm currently a senior at Sparks High School. So obviously, My name is Luis Chavez. I'm a senior at
I got you. Well, just it says recorded forever and ever. Millions of fans.
Yeah.
My name is Cruz Ramirez. I'm a senior and I'm a goalkeeper.
Move the microphone up to your mouth.
My name's Yael and I'm a senior and I play left wing.
Funny how that works.
My name's Yael Roman. I'm a senior and I play attacking mid.
My name is Oswaldo Lopez. I'm a senior and I play anything Chava needs me to play. Defense, mid, or forward.
My name is Salvador, and I'm a senior, and I play left back.
Seniors.
Hi, my name is Gabe, and I was number 13, played wherever coach needed me, and yeah.
My name's Daniel. I played center defensive mid.
My
name is Giovanni Gonzalez, and I played left wing.
My name's Leo, and I play winger.
Winger.
My name is Raul, and I'm a freshman, and I play striker.
My name is Aaron Munoz. I'm a senior at Sparks High School, and I play striker.
Okay, my name is Jose Sanchez, and I'm a senior, and I'm left back.
Hello. I'm Martin Kavanian. I play left wing for Sparks High School, and I'm currently a senior.
I'm David Vega, and I'm a junior, and I play center back.
My name is Vladimir Trujillo, and I'm a senior, and I play wing back.
My name's Cesar Hernandez. I'm a junior, and I'm a striker.
My name is Brian, and I play anything in the defensive line.
My name is Andrew. I do not go to Sparks, and I play right wing.
My name is Omar Hernandez. I'm a junior at CMC High School. I play central midfielder.
I think that's it. So if we gotta have you all line up right here, then we're gonna just take a photo.
You know, they say that speaking in front of a crowd is pretty tough, but you guys did a good job.
Thank you.
Come right over here. Coach, get in the middle right here. Good luck with this, Julie.
Yeah, Julie, unless she's standing up,
Yeah.
down, she's not going to get any of us.
I know.
Hold this too.
Yeah.
They're all bending down.
Could you tighten it up a little bit? Move closer together. Turn a little sideways. Turn a little sideways.
Hey boys, everybody turn to the right just a little bit. Back row, back row. Just turn to your right just a little bit. There you go. You got it. All right, you guys try.
Yeah, I look as tall as you. Nobody knows. My kids go, will you stand up?
Okay, don't leave yet. Okay, John. I'm pretty sure this will be in the Tribune Wednesday.
Good job. Thanks for coming.
Congratulations, you guys. Thanks for being here.
I'm pretty sure that'll be in the Tribune on Wednesday, so
You're gonna stay.
probably don't know what to do here. What do I do with my pen?
Donald has his Sparks High.
What do you need?
Tie on it.
It keeps falling off the table here. Okay. Moving on to 7.2.
kids on their Thanksgiving break to come down to city council. They've got school today and oh, they're not. Oh, yeah, they're not. Our school. God, well, then that's easy to get them out of school. Come on, get them out early.
Okay, 7.2. This is for Jim Arundel. Recognition of Jim Arundel, Planning Manager, City of Sparks, as 2019 Professional Planner of the Year by the Nevada Chapter of the American Planning Association. And this will be presented by Andy Durling.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Welcome, Andy. Thank you.
Members of the council, Andy Durling with Wood Rogers, and finishing my term as immediate past president of the Nevada chapter of the American Planning Association. We conducted our annual conference and award ceremony actually right here in Sparks this year in October at the Nugget, and very happy to be here to present our Professional Planner of the Year to my good friend Jim Arundel. The DeBoer Awards, which are our national or our state planning awards, each year we identify projects and individuals that are making positive impacts on planning across the state of Nevada. Our individual awards are nominated by peers throughout the state and require a number of letters of recommendation, as well as a vetting process that we go through with a partner chapter. This year's was the Georgia chapter, joined us in reviewing all of our awards, and the judges noted that Jim has demonstrated professional excellence in the field of planning throughout his career with the City of Sparks. Throughout his career as a professional planner, Jim has been a tireless advocate for the City of Sparks and has worked hard to advance sound planning policy and promote high-quality development for the city and for the region. Over the years, Jim has developed an attention to detail and has gained invaluable insight into the city's development standards that has helped guide high-quality development from the ground up. Through his 17 years with the City of Sparks, Jim has reviewed thousands of building permits for compliance with code and processed hundreds of land use entitlements to the Planning Commission and City Council. In summary, Jim has demonstrated excellence in the field of planning that has improved the profession in Nevada. So on behalf of the Nevada chapter, we'd like to recognize Jim as our professional
Come on
planner.
down, Jim. Mr. Arundel, sir. Jim, we're very proud of you. You know that.
I appreciate that. I got the former councilman here in the...
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor.
I was hoping he would have wore a Jim Arundel shirt instead of the Sparks Railroad shirt.
They sold out so fast he couldn't get one.
That's right. Got to get them on eBay now. Well, thank you. I appreciate Andy taking the time to out of his busy schedule to come down as past president and make the award known in front of the council for me. And you know how it goes. You work with a lot of people on your team, and they're the ones that ultimately, Planning Commission, City Council, the manager's office, supervisors, everybody working together to help you get certain things through. Otherwise, those projects would never get into the limelight, I suppose. So appreciate everybody's support. It's more like a team award than individual probably, but thank you for the recognition.
And that sounds just like you, thanking everybody on the team, which is proper. But I understand it comes with a car and a new house.
It does, but it's in the unincorporated.
So you turned it down. Yeah. Is there an actual award? Does he already have it?
He already has it, yeah. So
you should have brought it with you, Jim, so we could see it.
It's his new tie.
I do have it. I didn't think to do that. Julie got a nice picture of me with it that was put into the Sparks Matters newsletter.
Okay, good. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy. Okay, we're going to put together 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, 7.6, and 7.7. Mr. Manager.
Good afternoon, Mayor Smith and members of the council. I am here today to announce a total of 9 vacancies across 5 different committees and commissions in the city. So if you'll bear with me for just a minute. The first one, 7.3, is for the Airport Noise Advisory Panel. We have a single vacancy for a 2-year term that would run through December 31st of 2021. Applications for that vacancy will be accepted through 5 p.m. on Wednesday, the 27th of this month. 7.4, the Arts and Culture Advisory Committee. We have 2 vacancies there for terms that run through November 6th of 2021. We are looking for people that have a background in performing arts and visual arts. Applications will be accepted through 5 p.m. on December 16th. Item 7.5, we also have 2 vacancies, and that's on our Enterprise Fund Advisory Committee for 4-year terms that would run through December 31st of 2023. We are looking for representatives from both residential and commercial construction industries. Applications will be accepted through 5 p.m. on the 27th of this month. And then finally, nope, not finally, getting ahead of myself. 7.6, the Sparks Citizens Advisory Committee. We have 2 vacancies on that one, 1 alternate position in Ward 2 and 1 regular position in Ward 3. Both of those positions by their nature are coterminous with their appointing council member, and because of that, those terms will expire in Ward 2 on November 4th of 2022 and in Ward 3, November 4th of 2020. Applications for both of those will be accepted through the 5 p.m. on December 16th. And finally, 7.7 is for our Planning Commission, where we have 2 vacancies for 4-year terms that would run through December 31st of 2023. Applications for both of those positions will be accepted through 5 p.m. on November 27th. Persons interested in serving on any of these committees should complete a community service application available from the city clerk's office. You can also apply online at the city's website, www.cityofsparks.us. Once you're there, click on Government on the web page, then go to the Boards and Commissions tab, click Volunteering for a Sparks Board or Commission, fill out the online application, and press Submit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Smith.
Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to move 9.1 up before the consent items. Consideration, discussion, and possible acceptance of a grant funding from the Reno Rodeo Association in the amount of $120,000 to assist in the design and construction costs associated with the Sparks Marina All Abilities Playground. Chris.
Good afternoon,
Welcome.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm very excited to be here. Chris Cobb, your Parks Development Coordinator, for the record.
I'm going to have the police throw you out. See you, John.
Very excited to be here with you this afternoon for the consideration, discussion, and possible acceptance of a grant from the Reno Rodeo Association in the amount of $120,000 towards the Sparks Marina All Abilities Playground. Just to give you a little background, council took action last May with our CIP for $550,000 towards this project. On October 14th, you accepted a grant from the Sparks Rotary in the amount of $80,000. For tonight, we'd be talking about $120,000 again from the Reno Rodeo Association. I'm very excited about this possible opportunity. The Reno Rodeo Association does a lot for this valley, not only during their 10-day event, which generates about $57 million to the economic impact in our region. They donate to a lot of different organizations through the valley. They were very excited to see this opportunity and join with us. And there are members in the gallery today that could answer any questions. If you have any for me that I can't answer, I'm sure they will. With that, that ends my presentation.
Okay, questions or comments for Chris? And then you have something to award to us, I believe. Come on down and introduce yourselves.
We have to do an acceptance.
Yeah, okay, we better do that. I think we better do that, huh? Okay, before we accept your award, we have to vote on accepting your award. So, Mr. Anderson.
I move to authorize staff to accept the grant funds from Reno Rodeo Association to assist in the design construction costs of Sparks Marina All Abilities Playground in the amount of $120,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Looking for a second. Mr. Abbott.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Welcome. Introduce yourselves if you would.
George Combs, I'm the general manager for Reno Rodeo.
George.
Craig Downey, I'm the 2020 president for Reno Rodeo.
Craig, and photographer?
Frank Cornelius, Reno Rodeo.
Okay.
Photographer.
Thanks, Frank. It's yours.
Well, thank you for letting us have the opportunity. It was kind of the Sparks Rotary. The news flash came up, and the Reno Rodeo does a lot of different things in the community. And one thing we do for our Special Kids Rodeo is we collect tip money from all the nights of the rodeo and all different places at the rodeo. And then we try to use that to give back to special kids. It's specific for special kids. And I've been the GM now for 5 years in Reno, and this is a second opportunity. the second $120,000 that we've been able, the giving of everybody in Reno and associated, it's amazing how much money we collect for this fund. And to be able to give it to something here in Sparks, and we really feel it was the right opportunity and the right time to make the contribution.
Well, you picked a great cause, and our All Abilities Playground at Paw Raw Park is used like crazy. So this is going to benefit the community more than I can say, and say thank you. And anybody want to say anything? Christopher Dare, Mr. Dare.
When they first talked about this, it was we figured we'd be able to probably get grants from statewide, all that stuff. But I got to tell you how exciting it is to see our own people here step up. It just means a lot to our community, and obviously you guys touch our whole community. I know where you're located, but we know all of our Sparks come over. It's Sparks, it's a whole region of what you guys touch. So thank you for giving back. It means a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Just want to say thank you guys so very much. I'm fortunate to have the Sparks Marina in my ward, and this All Abilities Playground is so exciting because it's such a well-attended park, and whether it's the young kids that are having difficulties or their grandparents, this is going to be a fantastic project, and I'm just so proud of you guys for doing this. So thank you, and thank your association as a whole.
Mr. Lawson.
George, thank you. Everything's been said, but thank you. This means a lot.
Ms. Bybee.
I'd like to echo, obviously, our appreciation, and even further than that, the Reno Rodeo Association throughout this community, all of the things you do, from the denim drives to scholarships to truly making a difference in the community. And 100 years celebration that you had this year is really pretty. The impact in 100 years the Reno Rodeo has had on our community is phenomenal. So if you can express our thanks to your everyone, all your volunteers, all your board. My son actually serves on one of your boards on the finance and has been involved with rodeo for quite a while, and such a worthwhile organization. Continue what you're doing, and thank you again.
Thank you. Mr. Abbott.
Yeah, I echo everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then also shout out to you, Mr. Cobb, for all your hard work to work with them and get the money here. And I know you got a lot more hard work to do, but this is an awesome first day, and thank you guys for kicking this off with the check. So thanks.
We'd like to give you.
That's the real one.
We'd like to give you another round of applause, and then if you come up here, we'll get a picture.
Like go back of my house and get paid for Wack's check.
You already gave it to maybe he is in the middle.
Come on up here in the middle. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who's first?
Go in there.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I feel like I'm standing in the shade.
There you go. Looks good. One more time, big smiles. Great, thanks, guys.
Okay, we'll keep this.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute.
He loves
Enjoy presidency.
Very nice to meet you. I'm good friends with Michael Byers.
Okay.
So, yeah,
See you again.
He's a good guy.
support you guys done.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm good friends with Christopher Dare, but I never did it.
You're a smart man.
I prefer it that way, sir. Michael Byers was the
Okay. All right, we'll move back to the consent items. Remember that we pulled 8.3. Looking for a motion. Mr. Anderson.
Move to approve consent items 8.1 and 8.2.
Okay, we have a motion. Looking for a second. Mr. Abbott.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? See none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, we'll move to 9.2. Consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a 3-year service and licensing agreement, HC 5624, with Island Internet Solutions Corporation for a real-time cloud backup service in the amount of $104,470.92 per year for a total of $313,412.76. Welcome.
Good afternoon,
Rich.
Mayor Smith, council members. For the record, Rich Brown, IT manager. The item I have for your consideration today, as stated, is a 3-year service and licensing agreement with Island Internet Solutions Corporation in the amount of $104,470.92 per year for a total of $313,412.76 for the life of the agreement. Before I delve too deeply into what Island is and what they do for us, I'll give you a little background as to how we got to Island. Back in March of 2016 and again in February of 2017, we got hit with ransomware attacks at the city, both of which were relatively significant, but to our good fortune, we were able to recover from those incidents in relative short order, and that was due in large part to having a basic good backup system in place. However, we, as part of the recovery from those processes, we discovered that it was good fortune that we recovered from those because as a traditional backup system, we back up every evening. And what that leaves us vulnerable to is any operating data or files that occurred on the day of the attack is lost. And this, especially in the case of ransomware, because we lose everything they touch. So that left us with what I call the 24-hour hole, which is that period of data where we have no backup. So anything that hits the city at that point is effectively lost if it hits critical parts. And those critical pieces could be, say, a day we're processing payroll, a day we're processing our utility billing. Should we have been hit with those attacks on those days, it would have been a much different outcome. So that's how we got to where we started searching for a solution. And we started out with initially 3 different vendors and 3 different products for their approach to solving this. And of the 3, Island was the one that not only solved the problem of closing the 24-hour hole, they also go a step further in that due to the way that they implement the solution, they also give us essentially a real-time backup, not just for our files and data, but our data center, the actual server room back in City Hall. So that was the direction we went. And with Island, so they will close the 24-hour hole, and that'll get us down to 15 seconds. That's the closest we could get to getting a true real-time backup in place. And in addition to that, should we ever need to, should we suffer catastrophic loss here at City Hall, like a flood or fire, and our servers are just wiped out, we can stand up our data center in the cloud. In this case, it'll be a data center in Dallas, Texas. Okay. And with that pretty much concludes my presentation. So
okay, any questions or comments? Mr. Dare.
This sounds good. I'm ready to make a motion when you're ready, sir.
Go ahead.
I move to approve the service and licensing agreement AC 5624 with Island Internet Solutions Corporation in the amount of $104,470.92 per year.
Okay, we have a motion. Look for a second. Ms. Bybee?
I will second that motion. And do we need to include the total for the 3 years in the motion?
I don't.
Not what they have recommended.
I don't think so.
Not on here.
What was your motion for the 104?
We can times it by 3 for a total of $313,412.76.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was just looking for the last line. Yes, I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to 9.3, and I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to, the first thing, okay? It's consideration of possible approval of bill number 2768. Mr. Cronk, the floor is yours.
That was the short and sweet version.
That was.
Your motion won't be.
No, I know. I'm basically would be repeating the motion.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I kind of feel a little bit inspired from all those young gentlemen that we saw. So for the record, my name is Jeff Cronk, and I play your CFO or whatever position my coach wants me to do. So Um, That was fantastic to see all of them, right?
It was, yeah.
So what we are here today is ask you for your permission to sell some bonds. So these aren't just any ordinary bonds. We're not adding bonds or debt to our structure. These are refunding bonds. So these are just replacing, so to speak, bonds that we approved and sold back in 2008. So a refunding bond, if you think about it from a perspective of refinancing your house, that's essentially what we're trying to do today. We're kind of reshuffling the deck. So with me, there's also representatives from Red Development. Should you have any questions for them, they're here in the audience, and they would be happy to talk to you and answer any questions that you might have. So I'm just going to run through it real quick, and I'm going to keep my presentation relatively brief, but if you have any questions, just either interrupt me or ask me at the end. It's a lot more technical, but I'm going to try to keep it up at the high level, right? So that's what I tried to do in this just one slide that I'm going to just pop up here just for reference. How do you do that? There we go. Just for reference, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're trying to accomplish. So the numbers will change because what we're asking you to do is approve an ordinance today that will allow us to sell bonds here in the coming weeks. Our plan is to have that sale happen on December 10th. If all goes well, and then we'll close escrow on the 19th, just kind of give you an idea of our timing of everything. We're asking for approval of this ordinance as if an emergency exists. So that doesn't mean that an emergency does in fact exist, but it's an allowance that is allowed by NRS for bonds. As you can imagine, the market on such things changes quite frequently. It can be pretty volatile. Check back in 15 minutes and it might be completely different. So just from the practicality, it's very impractical to hold a public hearing, have a first reading, a second reading, so on and so forth. So the NRS allows us to ask for approval of an ordinance as if an emergency exists, which basically means that we just approved the ordinance and all the related documents are going to be executed after today. So that's kind of how this process works. At the end of the day, what I've got up in front of you is really just what we're trying to accomplish. The left column is where we currently stand. So that's all the debt that we issued in 2008, or at least authorized in 2008 and issued subsequently to then. The green portion being the portion that's held by the developer. Those are subordinate bonds, star bonds. The larger portion that's in orange there is what we sold to large institutional investors, again, in 2008. So what we're trying to accomplish today is really just three things, honestly. One, take advantage of a much improved market environment, so much lower interest rates compared to what we had in 2008. So we're looking at reducing the interest rate on the senior bonds from about a 6.5, 6.7% interest rate back in the day down to closer to 3%. So kind of in that range. And again, this will all be settled here in the coming weeks, but that's a big drop. So we're trying to take advantage of just improved market conditions and not spend so much money on interest costs. Over the course of the loan, if this goes to maturity, we should save something around the line of about $11.5 million that would not be paid just on interest costs. So that's not savings that the city is going to enjoy. That's just going to allow greater capacity so that we can increase the amount of the senior bonds that are going to be issued and accomplish the second thing that we're trying to do today, which is essentially reshuffling the deck. So if you look at the chart again, you'll notice that the green section that, again, the developer owns, that's going to be shrunk down a little bit. So we're looking to pay off, if you will, about half of what's currently outstanding. So that Red Development would be only owning about $14 million of the subordinate bonds rather than the $30 million that they own today. So that would accomplish one thing, and you'll see it's just a shift. So we're just shifting it from what the developer owns, again, to large institutional investors. So that's the increase in the orange bar that you see looking from left to right. So the third thing that we're trying to accomplish is and I have to kind of preface this a little bit by giving you a little history, so bear with me here a little bit. Back in 2008, we had two issuance of bonds, one being the senior bonds that we talked about, one being the subordinate bonds. What we're asking for now is 3 bonds to replace those two. 1 for 1 being the seniors. The seniors will still be outstanding, but the developer now will be holding 2 separate tranches of bonds, if you will, one being taxable and one being tax exempt. So I don't want to necessarily bore you with the technicality of that, but IRS regulations require that the bonds that the developer holds be broken down partially as taxable, partially as tax exempt. So that's the only difference. But essentially, if you look at it from a bigger picture, it's just decreasing their total position from 30 million down to 14 million. So the ordinance that you see in front of you is authorizing us to sell 3 series of bonds. So again, just replacing what we have outstanding. I think with that, I'm gonna leave my presentation at that. We have another item that I'm gonna bring to you at the next one, which is a second agenda item. So I'll save my discussion for that piece there, but it's essentially related to the development agreement that we have with RED. But that's a separate item, so I'll keep that a separate item. But otherwise, I think that's the extent of my presentation. But again, I'm happy to answer questions, or again, if you had any questions for the developer.
Okay, questions or comments, Ms. Bybee?
Jeff, I do have you mentioned the 2 taxable and non-taxable bonds that the developer will hold. Currently, is that how the breakdown is?
No, currently the bonds that they hold are all taxable.
Okay. And so how does the tax exempt, why all of a sudden with this new issuance does it change? I understand the lower percentage rate and your chart out there, but what changed to allow the tax exempt versus the taxable bonds if that's not currently what they hold?
Yeah, nothing changed. The reason they weren't tax exempt back in the day in 2008 is actually a little bit of a mystery. The only thing we can kind of determine is that the original intent of the subordinate bonds were not really meant to be held by the developer for that length of a time. They were really probably designed to be paid off in a matter of probably 2 to 3 years, to be honest with you. But as we all know, the recession happened, and the world got turned upside down. So here we are where the developer had ended up holding those bonds much longer than anticipated. The reason some are tax exempt and some taxable now is because the final drawdown of those subordinate bonds didn't happen until just earlier this month. So in 2008, $36.6 million was authorized, but only $32.7 million was ultimately drawn down until this year. So we didn't complete that drawdown until the current year. Because of the time period, the reason those are still going to be part of this refunding, they have to still be considered taxable. That last little bit of the $3.9 million draw that we did in the current year that was authorized in 2008, that still has to remain taxable. And that's per IRS code, and I don't want to get into the code, that gets pretty complicated. But basically for IRS regulations, that little piece, that $3.9 million has to remain taxable. The rest of it can be issued as tax exempt with a limited opinion from our bond counsel.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help?
Okay, Mr. Lawson.
Jeff, what do the citizens of Sparks get out of this?
Well, not much financially. This is not a benefit to the city, nor is it a harm to the city, if you will. So the way Star Bonds works is that...
who benefits from this?
I'm sorry?
Who benefits from this?
Primarily the developer. This is something that they came to us to ask for a refunding, a shuffling of the deck for those 3 purposes, and it's primarily from a financial purpose. Benefits the developer. Now, we certainly have a vested interest in seeing that center prosper, and do well, but from a financial perspective, it doesn't benefit nor harm.
So this came after we were subpoenaed for our records and emails and phone calls and other stuff?
It was part of the process.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Dare.
I have a couple questions. Just want to make sure for our constituents. So when does this end? We are doing all this. Does this extend? I know the answer, but I want to make sure it's really clear.
Yeah,
is this extending the life of the loan? Are we doing something more now that we're watching us go through this?
Yeah, not at all. So this doesn't extend it at all. The previous, what we currently have before the refunding would have matured no later than June of 2028, and that remains the same with the refunding bonds. Now, they may pay off sooner, but they cannot extend farther than that, and that's by state law.
And then my other question kind of goes, and maybe you can answer for them. I don't know, is there any intention of them, Red, with, and maybe they can answer this, with what is happening, that they're going to make some investments in this property, or is this so they can go do investment somewhere else? Are they going to try to continue to help make this thing pop and do well for all of us, or are they trying to get their money? I just trying to understand.
That probably is a better question for the developer. So if you'd like, you can
please
invite him down.
Sure.
Just identify yourself for the record.
Sure. Good afternoon, Brett Herron with Red Development. This is Scott Rehorn with Red Development. So the property, we've been involved since 2008. We've been developing it in stages as the market will allow us to. So we've actually got quite a bit of progress right now. Our intent is stay involved with the project for the long term. We've got about 10 new tenants that are opening up over the next few months, a lot of new restaurants, entertainment venues. We're working on 2 new hotel projects for the project, some additional restaurants on the pads, and then the development of the area just north of where the RV dealer opened up. So I think to answer your question, we intend to stay involved for the long term.
Wonderful. And I got to say, so I moved here 10 years ago. I love Legends. It's good. Obviously, it's different than what was anticipated in the beginning and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I can say where we're at, it's an awesome addition. And so I obviously my question doesn't control what you do, whatever you want with your investment, but I appreciate your continued support to our city and to what we do. So I thank you for saying that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't know. Any other questions for Red? Okay, no, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Looking for a motion, Mr. Anderson?
First, just would like to say that I do appreciate the development there at Red. Legends, it's looking awesome. I'm always getting people asking about what the latest, greatest thing is that is coming in there. So it'd be great if you just keep us in the loop and let us know things that are on the horizon over there. We'd love to hear more about it. And I do appreciate the business that you guys do with us here. Because of the fact that it's not negatively impacting the citizens of Sparks, I do make the motion that we approve. I guess I get to read the whole thing?
Yes, you do.
Lucky me.
You're on the clock.
Yeah. Okay, I move to approve Bill number 2768, creating an ordinance authorizing the issuance by the City of Sparks, Nevada, of its Tourism Improvement District Number 1, Legends at Sparks Marina, Senior Sales Tax Anticipation Revenue Refunding Bonds, Series 2019A, in the maximum principal amount of $86 million. It's Tourism Improvement District Number 1, Legends at Sparks Marina, Subordinate Sales Tax Anticipation Revenue Refunding Bonds, Series 2019B, tax exempt, and the maximum principal amount of $11,500,000. And its Tourism Improvement District Number 1, Legends at Sparks Marina, Subordinate Sales Tax Anticipation Revenue Refunding Bonds Series 2019C, taxable, and the maximum principal amount of $4,500,000, authorizing the execution and delivery of specified agreements, documents, and instruments in connection therewith, providing other matters relating thereto, and providing for its adoption as if an emergency exists.
Okay, we have a motion, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, in addressing the matter of if an emergency exists, as pointed out by Mr. Kroc early on, we are using this rather unique procedure as if an emergency does exist to pass an ordinance. For that reason, your vote to approve must be at least 4/5.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion. Looking for a second, Ms. Bybee.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Abbott.
Yeah, Mr. Cron, can you just explain to me, after these are all paid off, how we would go about issuing additional bonds? How that process would go?
Sure. The process would actually be very similar to what we're doing now, in that we would commission a revenue study and see what kind of capacity we're talking about. And if we were, which is kind of getting into the next item here a little bit, but if we were to issue new bonds, depending on what capacity that amount of revenue is and the length of time that is expected between then and 2028, that would be how you determine how much bonds, and then you'd go through a very similar process as far as the sale process and all that.
Thank you.
To help.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. It passes 4-1 with Mr. Lawson voting no. Okay, moving on to 9.4 for consideration of possible approval of a MOU AC 5625. Mr. Cronk.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and members of council. Jeff Cronks, Chief Financial Officer for the record. This is a companion item of the item that we had just talked about, and this is a memorandum of understanding between the City of Sparks and the developer, essentially just to memorialize our understanding, as we were just mentioning here a minute ago, of the future activity or potential future activity of future bond issuances. The DDFA contemplates that there will be a final issue of some sort, a final issuance of the senior bonds at some sort, at some point in time. We don't know when that point in time is. It kind of depends on how the center performs, the sales taxes perform. So the idea of what we currently understand right now is that there would be a final issuance after these current refunding bonds that you just approved, a moment ago. After they're paid off, or slightly before that, we would be able to issue a final issuance of the senior bonds, similar to what we had just spoke about in a very similar process. This memo also just memorializes our understanding that no further subordinate bonds will be issued. So after, again, once these current issuances are paid off after these refunding bonds, that no further subordinate bonds would be issued, just the senior ones. So this is really meant, it doesn't bind future councils. This is not amending the DDFA or modifying it in any way. It's really just a way to memorialize our expectations of that future issuance.
Okay, any questions or comments? Mr. Dare.
And can you just, again, make it really clear that if there is anything issued again, is it extending the life of this loan longer to 2028 as we talked about?
It is not. And the way it would work is, again, once these are paid off, let's assume they get paid off early 2026, something like that, there will be only a couple of years left. So this by law has to terminate in June of 2028. So it's just an opportunity to issue bonds for just those last few years worth of sales tax revenues that would be generated. After June 2028, this all goes away.
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, any other questions or comments? See none, looking for a motion. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve Memorandum of Understanding AC 5625 as presented between the City of Sparks, Nevada and Sparks Legends Development, Inc.
Okay, we have a motion, looking for a second. Mr. Dare.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes 4-1 with Mr. Lawson voting no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cronk. Okay, moving on, there is no public hearing and action items unrelated to planning and zoning. Number 11, there are no planning and zoning public hearings and action items, so we'll move to comments. I'll open up the public comment period. Anybody wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council. 12.2, comments from the mayor, city council, and city manager. Anybody have any comments? Okay, I'll start off. Tracy, could I get you to come up and just give us some information on the turkey trot for this Thursday, please? This will be my comment through Tracy.
And the parade and the...
Yeah,
Good
well, the parade was still...
Mayor Smith, council members, Tracy Dominguez, Parks and Recreation Director. Yes, our 21st annual turkey trot will be held this Thursday on Thanksgiving morning. Layer up. I hear it's going to be cold. And you can still register, actually, during our packet pickup, where we have staff on site all day at Shields if you still want to sign up, or just go down and pick up your packets. We're there till 9 o'clock each night this week.
And what time does the race start?
Oh, 8:30.
Okay. That's why I wasn't sure. That's why I wanted you up here. 8:30 starting time?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You know, and I'd like to make a comment. We've got what's going on in the state of Nevada, and Sparks was the leader in this, was the Mayor's Challenge to prevent suicide with military folks. And it obviously extends to our police department, fire department, any first responders. But Mr. Paul Anderson was named the Veteran Supporter of the Month for December by the Nevada Division of Veteran Services. Paul does a heck of a job, and he's jumped in with both feet. So, Paul, thank you. I want to thank you for this. Okay, anybody else want to talk? Though, for me and my family, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and without objection, we are adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting of November 25th, 2019, with the roll call.
Chairperson Bybee.
Here.
Agency members Dare.
Here.
Lawson. Anderson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Abbott.
Here.
Chief Legal Officer Adams.
Here.
Chief Administrative Officer Kreutz.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3, public comment. Do I have any public comment? Or someone wishing to make public comment? You could fill out a card later. None of our students? Okay, just wanted to give you a shot. Hearing no public comment. Item 4.1, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second. I have a motion from Agency Member Smith, a second from Agency Member Dare. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Item 5.1, minutes. Consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the minutes of the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting of October 28, 2019. Do I have any corrections, additions, or a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Agency Member Anderson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Agency Member Smith. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Business item 6.1, consideration and possible acceptance of the report of the claims and bills approved for payment and appropriation transfers for the period of October 29th, 2019 through November 8th, 2019. Do I have a motion to approve?
Approve.
Motion to approve by Agency Member Dare. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Agency Member Smith. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Item 7.1, comments from the public. Do I hear any public comments? Still no? Oh. No. Okay.
I do. I have one comment. It looks like they sent you here to the Sparks City Council meeting, and you just walked in, so I guess you're going to get credit for everything that we've done.
I think they should have to speak. Maybe they should introduce
They should at least come introduce
Here's some public
themselves.
comment.
Okay, I am.
Come on.
Yeah, let's get introductions.
Okay, I'm losing control. Okay, so.
Always introduce.
Okay, so as chairman, because I've lost whole control of my whole agency here, would you like to speak on behalf of your group? Introduce yourself, and you could fill out a public comment card later.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Colby Thomas. My mom, Janelle Thomas, actually works here at the City of Sparks. We, as our government class at Reno High School, have to come and observe a public meeting. And so, well, we're running out of time to see a public meeting, and we need 10 hours by the time December 6th rolls around.
Well, they got 5 minutes towards the...
so they're going to get a lot of time.
Yeah.
So my name's Colby Thomas. We've got Kevin, we've got Cooper. What's your name again? Nadia. Seth, Landon, Ryan, Kyle, Jake, Jason, Anna, and Lucas.
Good job.
And so we're all from Reno High School in Mr. Clark's government. Oh, well, some of us are in Mr. Clark. Carlin.
So Mr. Clark is your teacher? I know.
Yeah, for me and most of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, if you wanted your 10 hours, just a little tip, you could go to one Reno City Council meeting and you're done.
So just to add into that one, my mom actually did work there for a while, and she left because of obvious reasons. So she came by. So
We were gonna go to Reno City Council, but someone likes to change the date every time I try and plan to go to that. So we're not there. Some of us went to the arts and culture meeting a little while ago, and well, we didn't get 3 hours, so we are here. So, yeah.
Well, welcome. We're glad that you're here. I always appreciate seeing students involved. My youngest son was heavily involved in student government. So really with a government class, or hopefully some of you student council and student government, and when the legislature's in session, really important things because you guys need to be looking at your voice in a public forum. And you can run for offices. We got a millennial down here at the end. So glad to see you engaged, and thank you for being here. Welcome to Sparks.
And then I'll point out that we do have our senior class president here, Jason Montgomery.
Okay, there you go.
That's a true Congress or politician right there. Shows up late right away.
Okay, thank you, Reno High School, for being here and watching how we do things here in Sparks. So appreciate that. Moving on to 7.2, comments from the agency and Chief Administrative Officer. Do I have any other comments? Seeing none, we are adjourned.